Hello and welcome to Act Natural. I am your host, Anthony Furiga.
And I'm your other host, Nick Thaman.
And today we are joined by...
Hi, I'm Julianna Marilyn.
And Shannon Metelko.
Welcome. Thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
I am so excited to be here and talk about my passion for acting.
Acting! You. Whoop, whoop.
Neither me nor Anthony are much of actors ourselves. So I'm interested to hear, first of all, what is the most recent project you guys have done, either for the stage or for the screen?
Well, currently I'm kind of in between / done with two. I was in a film, K.O., directed by Dalen Brown. It was so good. I enjoyed seeing the process coming together. That ended and we got to see the premiere. It was so fun. And currently I am working on another production of Dog Sees God happening in the Performing Arts Building on campus. Yeah,
I heard about that.
Great.
Yeah,
That's a great show.
Yeah,
Charlie
it's
Brown.
exciting. Yeah, I'm playing Van's sister who commits arson. And also I'm helping produce it. I'm helping fundraise for it. I'm doing a little pre-talk for it as well. Oh my goodness. I can't talk today.
You're good.
I got to do some like vocal warm-ups.
Fee fi fo fum.
Fee, fi, fo,
Oh wait, that's what
fum.
the giant says.
But yeah, that's what I've been up to. Oh.
Cool.
Exciting.
Yes. So my current projects, from writer-director Taylor Rex comes the short film New Tables. I play Sarah, part of the classic popular high school crew trope, coming back to their old diner haunt after their 10-year reunion. I read the script and immediately knew the angst the protagonist Casey was feeling, working at the diner, having to serve people from the past. I encountered this too many times to count during my restaurant industry to support my artistry years. And taking on a mean girl character with Sarah gave me the chance to flip the script on my experiences and take inspo from the well of catty, egotistical drama queens that have been portrayed on screen. There are so many. My main inspirations for this role were Regina George classically from Mean Girls, but I have to say the Rachel McAdams version, even though I adored Renee Rapp in the new version.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
It's good. And Samantha Jones from Sex and the City. Like, for some reason, those two characters I really kind of just played off of. I played off of Samantha Jones's like confidence, like, and just like laissez-faire, and then Regina George just kind of that like sit back and like judginess. So yeah, I really took some liberties with that, and the script left me with no overwhelming feeling of hope or despair, just a feeling of pause, ruminating for a minute about how every human is moving on their journey and taking their days as they come, one at a time. You know, when we graduate high school, it's just another day, another step on that journey of life, and how we continue forward is only essential to living in our own truth and discovering ourselves along the way. So just reading that script and seeing that project, I was like, I need to be a part of this. It was a bit of a travel. It was in North Apollo, Pennsylvania.
Oh wow.
And we shot night for night. So every night, yeah, we wrapped at like 4, 5, 6 a.m. But it was a blast. The high school crew, we all kept each other awake with magic, ghost stories, giggles, and of course, fruit snacks.
Magic?
Fruit snacks are, one of the actors is like a low-key magician. So he's just like, it's like, all right, guys, like pulled out his cards and just kept doing magic tricks.
Whoa.
The one girl had all these like wild ghost stories from a house she just moved into. And yeah, so we kept each other active. So it was a great experience. And I've kind of learned, like, living in the Midwest, you do have to travel a bit to find projects that you're like feel connected to. But this wasn't too bad. Pennsylvania, the Pittsburgh to Cleveland like ratio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fairly seamless drive.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No,
I
that's
spaced.
so exciting though. I've always wanted to play a mean girl. I mean, my persona is really nice and bright and everything, but I've always wanted to kind of delve into the meanness and the snarkiness.
Yes,
I don't know,
totally.
It's fun.
Absolutely.
That's so
I mean,
exciting.
that's something that you should for sure explore.
Oh yeah.
What is like your kind of go-to typecasting, either from other people or from what you prefer to play?
So yeah, great question. Kind of leaning off of the whole like
The whole mean girl thing.
character.
Yeah.
I've been leaning more into grounded, like me type of characters, trying to step away from that high energy, bubbly, chaotic character type, which was my go-to for a long time until I realized that that's not really me. And acting on top of putting on an act is a lot of juggling to keep afloat while trying to create work. In the great words of Marlon Brando, you can't act unless you are what you are and who you are.
That's so cool.
So would you say, I think this acting method is Meisner? Or what method would you say you prescribe to?
Oh,
I
know-
always get them mixed up.
I only know two, which is Stanislavski and Meisner. And I think there's a Chekhov one.
yes,
Yeah.
there are so many, and they all have antidotes that can aid an actor's process. I like to read them and kind of like pull from all of them. I mean, Spolin, Chekhov, Mamet, Hagen, Stanislavski, Stolslavsky are just a few. What drew me into acting is that different level of consciousness you feel while doing it. Do you feel this when you perform?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, what
Yeah, I'm
kind
good.
of, because what got me
Yes.
into acting was that I used to be really shy, so it really took me out of my
Yes.
shell. And then I just I fell in love with it. I was just like, oh, I just get to play different characters and like be any of these people. Like I could be whatever I want to be.
Absolutely. I'm gonna get a little hippy dippy, but hear me out.
It's an acting podcast.
So exactly. A lot of what you do in classes is like be a tiger. You know, it's
Oh,
yeah,
really?
acting classes
Yeah,
are
yeah,
so
yeah.
fun.
But
oh my goodness.
it gets you to like different roots and to play different parts of yourself that maybe you
yeah, absolutely.
wouldn't really find. But I started out as a dancer, and you go to class, learn phrases, repeat. You're given choreography, you break it down, you practice. And when you perform this thing you've been practicing for months, you know it. Only thing different is the stage and the lights and like the breath of the audience. As soon as you begin and you find that rhythm, it's an out-of-body experience. Yet still connected enough to withhold a string of presence. I found that same out-of-body sensation performing in plays. But if an inflection of voice changes or a line is dropped, the energy of that performance just drops. And this is where improv comes into play. It works as a crutch to keep you and your fellow creators from dropping that performance energy in dance and theater. In film, not so much. Film is more, there are directors that can be like, all right, you can do this line, but you can kind of work around it as long as you keep that same kind of tone that
Yeah.
it needs to be in.
It's structured in a different way.
Yes. Yeah.
We were talking to our guest last week actually brought this up, which I've never really thought about, but it's a good point how actors on the stage very much are the ones in control of the narrative and of the audience. Whereas like in film, it's more so the director and editor that have kind of final say over how the product turns out. And it seems like you feel similarly from stage to screen.
Yes.
Not to say you don't do, not to say the acting isn't obviously the thing that holds it all together, but you can, there's that barrier that exists between the audience with the performance that you don't necessarily have with when you're just in the room with the audience.
Yeah, no, doing both as well, it's definitely been such a different experience for me personally, because coming from performing on stage and like theater acting, it's just such a jump into film acting and everything, because the process as an actor is also different as well. Like you come in with your lines memorized and you don't have much time to rehearse. That's kind of something that you do in your own time. And I've kind of drawn from that and taken that into my stage performances as well. Although my process with stage performances is I like getting the blocking and everything as an actor before I memorize it, because it helps with my memorization. Whereas things change so often in film, and they do in theater as well.
Yeah.
But you come in with a idea. You have to come in with an idea, and then that idea may get tweaked a little bit. It may just be completely changed, and then you're like, oh, okay. So now I have to say this line that way, and yeah. But I like it. I like them both.
That
And I'm still
so
learning, of
true.
course.
Yeah.
Like,
I think I had, like, I talked about this in class once as well, but I think also because I'm such a new actor and I'm still learning everything. I'm still learning, like, what characters I play. And I don't know, just like my acting process in general. I'm always just like, if a director tells me to do something, obviously I'm going to do it. I mean, depending on what it is, of course, but it hasn't been like so heavy where I'm like, oh, I can't do that. I'm always flexible in my ability to do things. I'm like, because I also want to try doing something as well. I played a Greek god puppeteer last year for the main stage show at Kent State of Somewhere. And that was such a different experience because I wasn't playing a person. I was playing an entity. Like, I was playing a Greek god.
through a puppet. So then,
Yeah,
so then you were
puppet.
like channeling your energy through to the
through
puppet.
myself and
Yeah.
then through a puppet. Yeah, I was like controlling this giant butterfly at times too. But just hearing about like my stage directions and what I need to do, it was just so different from what things that I've done in the past. And I was like, wait, that's kind of cool. Like, I want to try that out now. And just, I want to twirl around my arms crazy. So yeah, it was fun. It was a really fun experience.
Yeah. Resistance I have felt before because like you'll have prepared practice in a particular way and the director will just 180 all of those choices. But what I found when this happens is just being open to the direction while keeping your own embodied creates a more complex layered character and everyone kind of wins in those instances. But the key is just trusting the director's creative vision and understanding the message of the project. That's just crucial to ensuring that cohesive creative space in order for what is like meant to be created to like get off the ground.
I imagine that has to be fairly difficult to put your trust into a director when you're the one giving the performance, you're the one actually on camera, and kind of giving up that, like, trusting that they essentially know what they're doing and that it's going to turn out good. It's definitely got to be. I mean, it is very admirable, I would say, and I think that is something that makes acting particularly difficult. At least for me, is giving up that sense of control, playing a mean girl or
A butterfly.
A butterfly.
And have you ever played, like, for example, the mean girl character? Do you ever feel bad after, like, between takes or whatever, if you're like yelling at someone or you're like mean to someone?
Well, this was interesting because the character Casey, we kind of were expecting her to kind of like cower, but she was playing it very much like, oh, I'm giving it back. So
Oh yeah.
we were kind of like that really caught, like, the whole high school crew were like, whoa, we weren't expecting that. But that felt authentic enough, like if that were to really happen. And she almost had that like Veronica Mars vibe of all of those things that you go to sleep and you wish you would have said, and then you say it. That was kind of what Casey's character embodied a little bit. But I weirdly, this was the first Mean Girl character I played, and I kind of felt empowered afterwards because like there was because I've just been in the opposite situation so many times, so it felt good to just have that opposite, like, and to know that it was just play.
Yeah.
I loved the girl that played Casey was amazing. Like, we chatted up, but so to be able to get into that space of play, and that's what's interesting about acting in general, is getting to be outside of yourself and into someone else's shoes. You kind of understand that person in a different way, and then you can also like kind of feel
Bring
that
it to yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
feeling, I like that, feeling empowered after you played that character. I felt that before too. I feel like a lot of the characters that I've played have had an influence on me in some way. And I also think too, in response to that comment that you made as well, like, if we ever feel bad, it's really important to make these connections with your coworkers, and like not even just actors, but also, directors and producers and everyone. But especially when you are playing a dynamic that way. Like, you have to build that connection outside of what you're playing, just so you guys are on the same page and everything. And also, you have the same mindset of it's just a character that we're playing.
And you can trust each other and that you feel safe. It's like a safe space, you know?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to leave and like have someone be like, oh my God, they were so that's the opposite. Because again, like everyone's there because they have the passion for telling the story, for getting into those parts. And usually you're taking on a character because it's, like you said, like, for instance, you got into acting because you were shy. Like a lot of people come into acting because it's a way to not change part of your personality, but like
help them find themselves and discover themselves.
You get to free trial other personalities.
Yes. Yeah. Well, there's a reason why like theater and like it has become like there's like theater therapy and art therapy. That's actually Viola Spolin, who kind of created improvisation. She began by teaching autistic children, and then her son, Paul Sells, I believe, he created Compass Players, which then morphed into Second City. So it's like most theater has these origins in like just trying to figure out humanity and understanding people.
I mean, I think that's the whole allure to entertainment, right? Is the ability to, if briefly, immerse yourself in a new scenario without consequences. And I think it's truly successful when the writing combined with some really stellar performances can make viewers feel things that they wouldn't be able to feel in their normal day-to-day lives. Have you, as a stage performer, ever made an audience cry?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was one of my roommates who went to see a show that I was in at the University of Akron, Concord Floral. It was a message about bullying and everything, and another one where I didn't really play a person. I played a couch.
But wait, how do you play a couch?
You just play a
couch. You say couch. What do you know?
Couch. No, it was
what
like
are my inhibitions?
I also played a student in the school as well, but my big main part was the monologue that I had as a couch. It was the couch in this green room, or this greenhouse, sorry, that was there when the event of the bullying happened, and it was like from the couch's point of view. It was really interesting. And then the ending, like everyone coming together and having and like sharing lines and everything. It was a really impactful moment, and I didn't realize how impactful it was until after one of my performances when my roommate came up to me and she was like, "That was so beautiful. You made me cry." And I was like, "Oh my God. Yeah, it really is powerful. It probably really is."
Yeah, you never know how a piece of art is going to affect the audience that is viewing it.
Yeah.
That's what...
Because it's also you're looking from the stage, you're looking at the audience. Like, it's a different point of view as well. And you have all these lights on you. Like, you don't know.
Yeah, that's true. That's what I love about seeing art too, is just like opening yourself up to like taking it in and just like really being present for it. Yeah. Art's so fun.
There's so much that can happen.
You traveled to Pennsylvania for your most recent shoot. What's the farthest you've actually traveled?
Louisville, Kentucky, which was like 6-hour drive. It was worth it. Again, like traveling for opportunities that kind of pop up that you find interesting seems to be kind of necessary.
Yeah, because you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. But yeah, it was to play a folk singer auditioning for a country singing contest called Americana Dream. And I stayed at a cheap motel, which I do not recommend.
Okay.
Doing solo. Because my imagination, like, it was fine. But my imagination just filtered through every single movie, TV show, news report, documentary of, like, a motel incident, you know? And so it was just like...
What's that stain? Like,
yeah, I know. And they're just like, oh my gosh. But so yeah, definitely I would do like an Airbnb or like, you know, maybe it's just like save up a little bit extra for like a decent hotel room instead. But yeah, so I traveled, no travel pay, but it was definitely, it was worth it. You travel for the jobs that are intriguing, and if you're able to like swing it with your schedule and your time and like your finances, it's like let's go for it.
Right.
it hasn't come out yet. It's like you look it up and it's still not around, but hey, it was a good experience. And Louisville was really pretty.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So you play a country singer. Can you sing country?
Yeah, I can sing a little
Special
twang.
skills,
Yeah,
special skills.
Nice.
special skills.
I want to talk about your special skills in a second.
Oh my
Juliana,
goodness.
but-
We
Tell
were
me
just
special
talking
skills.
about some of
Yeah,
them.
because we were looking at your resume, and one of the things that you have listed for your special skills is creepy crawling.
Oh my
Oh.
goodness. Yeah, I have some crazy ones. Whenever I do something new, I'm like, I'll just put it on my special
Yeah.
skills.
I like that. That's great. So
But
you're kinda like,
yeah, I've always been told I should play a scare actor at like an amusement park.
Or a
And I've
haunted
always
house.
wanted to. Yeah.
do it.
And like that kind of goes into like my schedule and everything. I never got the opportunity to. But yeah, I have a really funky, creepy crawl, and I kind of embraced that when I did another student film on campus.
Which one was that?
With Hala. It was called The Creepy Horrifying Nightmare.
Horrifying
and
nightmare.
the Horrifying Nightmare, and I played the dark creepy entity.
Okay.
So I kind of like utilized that that aspect of me and like my creepiness to be able to do that. But that was a fun film as well.
Did you have any like inspiration for like creepy crawling, or was it just kind of like inside your bones?
It was just inside my bones. I feel like as a short person, because I'm really short, I'm 4'8", I can just like do whatever. Like I can hide underneath like random spots
Mhm.
and just pop out and scare someone. Which I don't know why. Like I have always loved horror movies. Like when I was 3, oh my goodness, I would be watching rated R, like raunchy horror
God.
films. But yet my mom never let me watch SpongeBob. Wild, right? But I don't know what it was. I think it was just I liked the scariness of it. Like I kind of liked the feeling of being scared in a way. I don't know. I'm not a psychopath, I promise you. But
I mean, it's an audience for a reason.
I know, I just liked it. Yeah, I just like the whole setup of horror movies, and I've always wanted to be in one.
Anthony has also played a scary entity.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So the one film that I have, I guess quote unquote acted on, even though I didn't have any speaking lines.
You performed.
I perform. Okay.
You slayed.
I played a I think the official name for the character was the Shadow for a student film called The Valley of the Shadow, and essentially I was like decked out in like a long black robe. I had like one of those like black face morph masks.
No way.
And I had a sword too.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't get a sword. I was also in like a long black like dress, and then I had a mask on.
Yeah,
as
but I'm
well.
like, but essentially, because like the film centers around these 4 people like investigating an abandoned theater, and I'm like the spirit that like haunts the theater, and I kill them all at the end.
Ooh.
So
That's so fun.
I wonder if I've heard experiences of people doing horror things. Horror more than anything else can potentially have kind of follow you after set, because if it's like hours and hours of like screaming or running or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
I imagine that's got to be
It's tolling.
it's an emotional toll.
Well, also just like physically too, like with screaming and stuff, that could damage
Your
Yeah.
vocal
Yeah.
cords.
damage your
It would be
vocal cords.
therapeutic though, probably.
Oh yeah, I love
But-
getting a good scream out.
Yeah.
But you have to know how to do it correctly.
Yeah, so
I
that
don't
you don't
really know,
damage
just,
your-
like, yeah.
Have you done much horror?
You know, well, similarly, I grew up loving horror and scary
Yeah.
movies, and then I just like hit a stage where I was like, life's scary enough. I don't need these.
No, for real.
I think it was I watched like Hereditary
Oh.
and oh my goodness,
Midsummer?
Yep. I watched
Oh
those,
my goodness,
The
the way I
dynamic duo.
knew.
Yep. I know. I watched those back to back and was like, okay.
No,
Well,
those were weird.
And I got sent a few scripts for horror movies that were being filmed locally, and they creepily hit home a little too close. That I was like, I don't want to be brutally murdered like that. I'm good. So,
I'm good.
and I like there's like a saying that like if you watch a horror movie, it like opens a portal to that realm or whatever. Again, hippy dippy, but like I don't know. So I've kind of stepped a little bit away from that world, but I mean I still adore this scene and like the makeup and the prosthetics and everything that goes into it. And
Oh, yeah.
Ohio has a really good base there's a lot of horror short films that film here. So it's like a really a fun like aspect, and it's exploring the shadow work that a lot of people like want to explore and kind of like need for their psyche. So it makes sense. But yeah, I just living alone again, doing things solo. I'm like,
Yeah, maybe
I'm
not.
Gonna,
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
The motel was the horror part.
Yeah,
I
that
know,
was it.
right? Yeah, yeah.
That was a horror
My
film.
imagination
in
is
itself.
like already too vibrant, and so it's like I don't know, and like you hear those stories of like the really like the horror films that like Exorcist and Poltergeist, like the things that happen on set
my
and stuff, and
goodness.
it's like scary stuff happens on set already. I can't imagine
Yeah.
like doing that on top of it.
Because
So
Poltergeist is crazy.
I
Like,
know.
looking up all the actors now, they've all passed away. Like even the little girl.
yeah,
Like that's weird.
I know. I lean more towards
It did come out in the 70s.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah,
also
true.
like
So
all
70s
of
isn't that
them
long
pretty
ago.
much. I mean, it was also I don't know how many years it was since like from the film and when they passed, but it was kind of like a short amount of time.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I lean more into I adore like suspense and like thrillers. So like
Yeah.
so my
Those are
love
fun,
so my love
too.
of horror and like that genre has kind of grown into like that suspense thriller area. Woman in Black is a play that was turned into a movie with Daniel Radcliffe, and it's like that's so good because it's like it gives you that same feeling of like but nothing like super gory, like nothing like
Yeah.
you know happens, and it's just like it keeps you in suspense and you're like huh, and you leave with that same sensation, but it's not like
No, I get what you mean because I also feel like I've been kind of drawing away from a lot of horror films now because they're all the same now, and there's no, I don't know, good ones anymore that are like really draw my attention. But I've been leaning into thrillers and everything too. But I don't know, I would just love to be in a cheesy horror film.
it would be fun because then again screaming is therapeutic. It'd be
Yeah.
fun, and like fake blood I've done like I've played a pretty intense zombie before, and they put
Ooh.
like blood like black stuff in your
Oh
eyes,
my
and it just like screams
gosh.
like in your mouth and stuff, and like it's
Ugh.
pretty but
Wait, they put
it-
stuff in your eyes?
yes, it's like a drops that like it looks
Yeah,
like
so
black
your
like
whole eye is black
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
much,
yeah.
and you
Oh.
look
And you blink and then,
possessed or
like,
something.
I would imagine that would be like a contact.
no, it's like an eye drop.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Ooh.
That's kind of cool.
it is
Yeah.
cool.
Showing up to Wendy's with the zombie eye makeup.
Yes, exactly.
After a day of filming.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah. So again, like the prosthetic, like the makeup artistry in that realm is so cool. But
Yeah, makeup is definitely in horror specifically.
absolutely
Yeah.
horror and like a lot of fantasy.
Yeah, that's true.
Have you guys ever been like totally like Star Warsed up in makeup? So that was the wrong way to say it, but just because they have a lot
Like
of
total-
prosthetics.
No, I know
Yes,
what you mean.
Like not being CGI, but just being like full. The closest was the zombie. I was in makeup for like I want to say it was like 6 hours,
Was it
6.5
outside?
hours. But I had like a dangly eye and like
Whoa.
and it was
Whoa.
it was extreme.
I
But
need to see pictures after this.
yes,
Like,
absolutely. I have a clip somewhere. But yeah, that was fun.
yeah, I don't think I've ever had super super crazy makeup. Yeah, just like regular things.
Regular
like,
Juliana look.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe a little bit of extra glitter. I love me some glitter. But that's kind of it.
Mm.
So, Shannon, I see that on your page. One of your special skills is you're a diver.
Yes,
my
yeah. I started
goodness.
learning freediving last year.
That's so cool.
Because I was always interested, but then also a lot of actors have to randomly do freediving in their movies. Like
Wait.
Kate Winslet's like a master freediver, Margot Robbie, Tom Cruise, like they all are like, well, it's more like the action like guys, and like most of the actors that were in Avatar were all like breath training and doing that kind of stuff.
Whoa.
So I took a certification course, and it's just like it's all like belly breathing. So it's just like taking like deep breaths through like your stomach, and then like finding. I mean, it sounds bad because then it can also like go into like blackout shallow. It varies a line of being dangerous and being a special skill. So I'm
see.
like I'm kind of right in the middle, and I do try to practice, but that type of breathing like they do it for like Navy SEALs, and there's a whole sector of folks that do it and do it properly, but then there's a whole nother sector that are like, that's the most dangerous thing. You can black out and you can die. But if I think there's a lot to breath work, and if you are able to utilize your breath and train it properly, I mean, I think the max breath hold is like, I think guys can go for like 17 minutes is the current world record holds.
Whoa.
What?
Well, I know I can't do that. If I just wrote that down though, like I might try practicing that. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, just like diving
Just
in general.
Breath work in general is huge for an actor.
Oh,
because
yeah.
the more you're able to utilize your breath, it changes your vocal tonation. You can go so many places with character.
Mhm.
So diving is just like another entity of that like breathing practice.
Right. Yeah, I'm taking a movement course this semester, and part of it is also how you breathe and everything. Which
Absolutely.
I always get stuck on. Like I always am like, oh, I have to breathe. Right. Remember to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not that I'm not breathing, but I'm not like focused on it, because also with this movement class too, like we're learning about what we do, like how we walk and everything. And it really frustrated me at first because, once I think about it, I stop doing it. Like when you're thinking about your breathing, like you kind of like are like, okay, now I have to remember to breathe until I can stop thinking about it. It was the same with like figuring out my walking style. Like, okay, what am I doing? Am I stomping? And then, I'll start stomping and I'm like, wait, I don't do that.
Walking style is such a good way to get into character.
Yeah,
I like
for
to
sure.
start that way. Like if it's a character that's totally like outside of who I am, if you kind of embody and figure out like what they walk like, then it really gets you into like, okay, I'm this person now. And then
Yeah,
you
it
can
just
like
really
go from there.
helps.
It totally
Yeah,
does.
that's why I love this movement class. As frustrating as it is, it's going to help me in the long run. And I'm kind of utilizing it too for the show that I'm in now, Dog Sees God, and seeing like, okay, how does Van's sister walk around? Like, how does she crawl on the bed? Because that's probably part of
Creepy
it.
crawl.
Because creepy
Yeah.
crawl. Oh my goodness, I can utilize that.
That's awesome. So, movement. I'm curious, where did you hear about diving being a common thing for actors? Is that like a well-known thing, or
No, I just picked it up. I watch just a plethora of interviews, and I like to call myself like the YouTube University, classic.
Yes.
And there's so much. There's like Hollywood Reporter, Vanity Fair. They all put out such good
Yeah.
interviews with
the actors on actors?
and you can pick up like I don't think they try to like tell all, but there are little tidbits you can really like.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I've
okay.
been trying to get into watching interviews more
Do
like
it.
that, because I love the aspect of HBO Max and their originals, that at the end of every episode pretty much they have a
talk
like
back.
they talk back with the actors and everything, and just the process of how that episode went.
Yeah. Mhm.
And I find it really cool just to hear about the process.
Yeah, totally. You can learn a lot about your own process by learning from others.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you ever felt like you've taught somebody else something about acting? Like, okay, let me rephrase. Have you been on a set where you've either learned something really important that stuck with you today, or you feel like you've helped somebody else in the process? So essentially, I guess what I'm asking is like, have you as an actor ended up somewhat having to pick up the directing role if it feels like you or your coworkers are missing that that direction, I guess?
I don't think I've fully picked up a directing role like that. I think it's utilized a lot with understudies, especially, but I don't know. It's a tricky area too if you're an actor and you're also helping direct the show that you're acting in, because
I
then
don't mean
it's like,
intentionally directing. I mean like,
oh, okay.
you're there, you've signed up to act, and then you realize it's going to be a long day. There might be like a feeling to contribute if it feels like someone needs to pick up the slack. Because I think with a lot of especially amateur directors, it's hard. I think people forget that their main objective is to be that link between the actors and like the script or the production.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of younger directors kind of just focus more on like, how does it look? Like, what are we at with like time, like very much more like logistical producery things. And you've kind of had to either just like not got any notes or had to direct yourself. I'm wondering if either of you guys have had experiences like that.
I've definitely been in areas where like I'll notice like fellow actors might be like nervous or vice versa, and then they'll be like, remember, like kind of just you cue into what your fellow actors are feeling, and you try to like bump each other up if that isn't being supported. So that kind of goes back to just that whole like trusting in your like in your comrades, really, because you want each other to present the best on screen in order to tell that story correctly. But I definitely do have a tendency to jump in when I see someone who needs a hand, like to a fault. And I've learned if I do this while I'm on set as an actor, like trying to jump like behind, like, oh, this light needs to be fixed or this needs to be done, I utilize the energy, concentration, focus needed to pour into the material before I even hit my mark. So I always feel the pull to step into other roles on set, especially no low budget projects. But I've had to train myself to fulfill my job as an actor first. And if there's a straggling C-stand, you best believe I'm gonna pick it up. No C-stand left behind, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, I think me and other actors have like given each other tips and everything, especially when we're running lines with each other and just being like, oh my gosh, you know, it would be really cool, like if you tried this, or like if I tried this, yada yada yada. So I think I've done that. I mean, there's no like certain moment in which it's happened. And then also I like learning about different departments and what they do and everything, because I think that's really important, especially in theater, because you know, communication is so important. So everyone is on the same page and they know what's going on and everything. And that's why I've also been involved in general management work. I have a position at Playhouse Square where I help run like lights and sound for their pre-show talk, and I help with house management there. And then
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really neat. And then I've also done company management as well. I've interned at a theater in London.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was cool. And I was just helping out with like marketing there. And then I ended up being in a show at their theater because someone fell ill with COVID, unfortunately.
Did you do a British accent?
No, I didn't do it for British accent, but it was a variation of Hamlet. It was called Dog's Hamlet. So I had gibberish in there, like literal gibberish. And it was cool. I was playing like 3 different characters. I had to memorize this thing in like 3 days because
oh my God.
That's how sudden it was. And they were like, Julianna, can you come on for this person? And I was like, I guess so. Might as well, you know, it'll be a fun experience. So I made my little London debut.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just love like knowing about different departments, and
it helps,
especially on low budget projects like that. You know, everyone kind of has to help out with each other and everything too. But I think starting out with it as well and being so new to like all these different departments and everything, I kind of need to like section myself out. Like, okay, what am I doing now? Like, this is what I need to focus on, especially as an actor too.
Totally.
Like, oh, I can't focus on like how this other thing is going.
Today I'm wearing the actor hat, so I need to put that on.
Putting on
or
different
today
hats.
I'm wearing the director hat, so I need to put that
Goes
on.
back to trust.
Yes, absolutely, and just understanding that message, the cohesive creative process.
What's up, Anthony?
Sorry.
Anthony's telling me what am I looking at?
The bottom bullet point.
The bottom
I
bottom
agree,
bullet
though,
point.
Like you need to be able to know. Well, for me, it helps to know how the whole thing runs in order to make sure that you know you're doing your job okay, right? And like and then if you do see something like, oh no, this person's like that's kind of falling behind, you can kind of not that you want to splinter off, but
you can ask of course, like asking for help, or asking if someone needs help is really important too.
It's like they call it crew for a reason, right? Film crew, theater crew.
No,
like you're all a crew together. You're making this project happen. So
you're all focused on kind of the final project, like that one goal.
Always like bringing it back to that purpose. That's why it's important to sign on to projects that you like want to do. Because if you're just doing it, it's like as a job. Like you're not going to bring any
Right.
energy to that.
There has to be passion.
Yes.
Have you guys been on? I know both of you guys have been on student film sets. Have either of you guys had experiences on like more? I don't want to sound like your family at Thanksgiving, but have any of you guys been on more like professional, like higher budget sets? I guess that's what I'll say. And is there what differences have you seen between those versus the student run sets? At least that like immediately jump out at you when you do both.
Personally, they're pretty similar. The difference between like student or low budget or like indie films is just that it's a lot just scaled down. But everything runs very similarly. There's still call sheets, like you still need to be reporting on time. It for me, I enjoy. It's almost like going to a giant university versus like a small college.
Mhm.
Like it's breaking it down and being able to work in like a smaller environment where the bigger films, there's so much going on. There's so many different directions your mind can go. And I find big films very tricky. And there's there's a lot happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's enjoyable because you do feel that buzz, that
Yeah.
ooh, it's Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Yeah. But again, what I've found helps me kind of center is just reminding myself my purpose for being there. Oh yes, I liked the idea of this film. I understand the creative vision, and that's why I'm here. And then you can kind of filter out all of the just unnecessary baloney that happens on set. Then that happens on indie films too, which you can do as well. So yeah, that was kind of a ramble response.
No,
No, that
that's
was great.
good because I don't really have that experience of being on a bigger, more professional set because I started getting into film acting through student short films, and I've been in school since then.
Yeah.
This is my last semester as well, so I'm
Woo,
excited
woo.
to get out there. Woo woo, get out there into the working world. But I have been on, there have been films that don't really have a good structure to it, and versus some films that did. I've had fun with all of them because I love meeting new people. I love it, but you can kind of see the differences between them. So yeah, and then jumping from like my high school to here to Kent State University, my high school, I was the first graduating class as well. So our theater program was like 5 people. And we were all like, we consider ourselves the founders of that theater program. And
Wait,
we
the
were
first
just,
graduating class, like, was the high school
Yeah.
just founded?
just
Whoa.
then. It was really cool.
You have a legacy to uphold.
I know, it's wild. I wouldn't recommend that though. That was kind of a lot. So yeah, like we held performances in our quote unquote theater space. It was a lunchroom with a stage. And there was no like lighting or anything. Like we had foldable chairs set out whenever there was a production held. So coming from there and going to here, I was like, wow, like my eyes widened. I was like, it's an actual theater.
Yeah. Did you, for when it comes to working with on sets of different experience, what would you say as an actor you value particularly out of I guess director would be the right role? Like, do you have any standout experiences where you've left a set and been like, just the director specifically, elements as an actor that you would want to see in every production you do, if that makes sense? Like, what do you value from a director? I guess that's a more succinct way of putting it.
Reassurance and tact.
Yeah.
Tact, like
tact is like being able to tell someone like a critique, but in a roundabout way that makes them feel good about
the shit
themselves.
sandwich.
Yeah,
A constructive way,
Yeah,
I feel like.
actors. I mean, like a lot of times, especially if it's like a really vulnerable thing, like that actor, like they need to be coddled a little bit, and like
Right.
so, like I get that. I used to be like, oh my gosh, like what? But it makes sense. Like when you're in that space, like you just, even if it's like just a small reassurance of, hey, this is what we're doing today, this is blah, blah, you're good. Just almost giving you what the assistant director would give you, but it comes from the director, then you're like, okay, because you're locked in with them. And then when you go to film, you can be cohesive.
Because I imagine there's the ability to perform the role and perform it sincerely, but then there's that extra pressure of like performing it on a schedule, surrounded by strangers, under lights. And so I think the main job of the director or assistant director, or whoever is interacting with you, is essentially to make you feel, like you said, to bridge that gap, to feel like you're being taken care of, that you're not just completely alone. Coddled isn't. I mean
that's like extreme, but like that there is some truth to that. Like, just the reassurance is really what it is. Just making sure you're on the same page. Maybe giving whatever liberty is needed in order for what you want to be presented on film to present itself.
Yeah, I've always liked the friendship aspect and like the mentorship aspect between actor and director as well, because I feel like that kind of plays into what you were saying as well, like giving criticism that's constructive and that's not hurting or anything too. There is a word for that too. I've always said that.
Tact.
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 But also like, I don't know, like I think it is constructive criticism too that I'm thinking of. Tact.
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 Oh no, I forgot what I was gonna ask. Anthony, ask a question, dude.
Okay. So, do you guys ever feel like when you're working on a film set, and especially more so like student films, there being like a separation between you, the actor, versus the crew? Because usually, at least like with student films, like generally the people who are working like behind the scenes like know each other, and like there's kind of like this like synergy going with them, and then when we get to the actors, it's kind of like we treat them as like almost like a separate like
Prop.
entity. Well, not a prop, but
Yeah,
some
I can feel that.
productions,
Yeah, I can
some
feel that.
productions, it feels like that. I'm not saying this isn't a personal thing, but I feel like there's a tendency to treat the actor like another piece of the gear that was rented out.
Yes, definitely. That can be just a feeling as an actor sometimes too, especially if you take any random side jobs where you're like, welp, well, this is what I'm doing today. You kind of just have to, you're reminding yourself again of that purpose. I like this project. And then just stepping outside of that. I am a prop, but let me be a prop that's useful to this project.
Yeah. And just like having that reassurance that you're still a person. Too,
Right.
like, in your mind.
Yeah. Not just like, hey, you. Like that would be, I'd be like, ooh, I may need to be coddled after that.
I've never had like bad experiences like that where I felt fully like a prop. Like I don't know. I feel so like it's so weird saying like the word prop to like refer to myself.
That is it. That's a good point.
It is, yeah. But I mean, I think it's to an extent where I'm like, okay, like I'm the actor to like, I'm gonna do like what they tell me to do,
Right.
so I can make it right. But I also think to, like, I come into a set and say hi to everyone. Like, you know, my presence has to be known. Like, I'm here, guys. But no, it is definitely like two different worlds as well. Like the crew, like they all take classes with each other. They know each other. And then in my experience as well, doing short films here on campus, some of the actors I may know, but most of the time, like they're also people from Franklin Hall. Like there are also people who take classes with the crew. And I'm like, okay, hey guys. Plus, when it comes to film as well, like I wouldn't help them with the equipment because I wouldn't want to touch the equipment because I'm like, that looks expensive. I'm not going like even
That's
with like
smart. Usually they don't want you to touch the equipment
yeah, 'cause
anyways.
even with like tearing down and everything and putting everything away, I'm like, okay, I want to help, but I don't know where things go, and I also don't want to break anything.
Yeah, that's when you accept. You're like actor hat.
Okay,
Yeah.
This is fun, guys.
Yeah.
Going back to that idea that you mentioned about being helpful, both being helpful on set, wanting to be helpful on set, but then also being there primarily to act. I personally, when I'm in charge of sets, I feel I forbid the actors from I shouldn't say forbid, but I
You're
don't
forbidden.
I don't like
No.
having the actors work with the gear, not because of the reason of you said, Juliana, about them like breaking it or anything, because truthfully everyone's at about the same experience level at our level, but it's more so I don't want that that responsibility to feel like it's on them. Like it should be, because like even if you want to help, it's like I think it's like you came here, we asked you to come here to act, to perform. That's why you here. That's why you want to be here.
Right.
And I think setting that precedent of like, oh well, they want to help. It's like I think they're I get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
And
I get that.
I guess in that instance, it's like that reassurance that like I think it's great you want to help. The way you can help the best is to be prepared, or then just like filling them in. Usually, if an actor is like wanting to help, it's because they haven't been given what direction they're needing to do to act.
I see.
So then you can like reframe it. Oh, okay, I need to communicate. We're going to get started with this scene in this amount of time. Remember, this is this emotion, this intent. We'll get going here soon. We're setting up this and this and this. Just letting them know and making sure they feel like they're part of what's happening, so that you have that environment happening. Is
Because there is like a lot of sitting around during film acting as well, because everything has to get set up in a certain way. But yeah, I think I've learned like, okay, I just need to be prepared as an actor. Like I can take this time to work on my lines, or like if I have lines done or something, like doing like character work, or even getting schoolwork done during the time as well.
Yeah. I try to keep it like focused on like what. So if I'm working on a project that is like really needs a lot of intention, if I'm like reading, I try to make it a book that's kind of the same vibe as like what I'm playing, so that I can get in, like I'm not taking myself totally out of the
headspace.
Exactly.
What's the most dangerous thing you've done for a performance? Either screen or theater. I don't know. Screen's probably lends itself to more stunt heavy, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I've not done theater.
I have to think on that.
I'm learning to be a more cautious actor. When it comes to love scenes and stunts, ultimately you are in charge of your safety and comfort. If there's something you don't understand, ask. If there's something that makes you uncomfortable, speak up. Because like those are used a lot in film, and if what is needed isn't fully like spoken, you need to.
Yeah. Have you worked with I'm curious, have either of you guys worked with an intimacy coordinator before?
No.
Yes.
Yeah. What was that experience like?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of like scenes that I've had have not been like intimacy heavy, so I haven't done like one-on-one with intimacy coordinators, but I've been in full group settings for like just to like introduce everyone and also get like a like an idea of what intimacy is going to be. I don't know. I mean, it's good to have. It really is. I personally I am not a person who is in touch with my emotions, and I need to work on that. Like that is something that I need to work on. So as I found intimacy coordination helpful, I'm still like learning how to work with it as well. For a lot of people though, it's really helpful, and
Definitely.
I'm like good for them and everything too. But I do like the there are like exercises that you do like physically as well, because I mean there's a scene that I have to do where I'm just hugging the other person, and even that like requires intimacy, because it's like, how do these two friends hug each other? Like how would they? And also it's just like, what parts of the body do you want to be touched on? Like there's the bubble exercise where you put a bubble around like a part of the body that you don't want to be touched like that day, or like throughout that whole process. So yeah, it's really helpful.
That's important.
Yeah,
because,
definitely.
And then that helps the like scene partners
and
understand that disconnection. Like, we are this character and this is the emotion. And I feel like that intimacy coordinator just helps remind you, like, you're playing this character, okay? Like, this is your job. And then you're able to, like, step outside of it and then just be your person afterwards.
Yeah.
I was part of a production a couple of years ago that had an intimacy coordinator, and it was extremely, like you said, the whole like bubble thing was very fascinating. I think the main benefit to an intimacy coordinator that I've seen is it puts for one, they're just the intimacy coordinator, so they don't have the stake that a director or someone more involved in the production would have.
Oh, yeah.
So there's more of that separation.
A lot of the productions I've been in too, it's the director's not in the room when intimacy work is happening. It's just the stage manager, or the production stage manager, the intimacy director, and the actors who have that scene together.
It's fascinating. Do you, as an actor, do you watch your own stuff back, like when it comes out?
Yeah, I do.
Because I feel like I'm always trying to learn and grow.
Definitely.
And I learn from watching it. And I've tried to, and a lot of times you need footage for like your reels and stuff. And so like the few things that I haven't gotten on film, I'm like, man, like I'm missing that. Like I haven't, but I find it helpful. I do understand why actors don't watch their work, but like, to me, that would happen like when you have so much work coming in and like, oh, I don't have time to go back to that headspace. Like that would make sense, but like I haven't gotten to that point. So
I'm also still learning as well. Like I need to know like how my process is, like what did I look like on camera during this time? But also it's so important doing it for auditions. Like when you're filming an audition, I mean, you have to watch it back to make sure that everything's set. You didn't say an or an in this part, which is also kind of why I like since COVID, filmed auditions have been so big now, and I really like it because it's not like a one and done thing. You can edit what you need to edit, but then there does get to a point where if you watch too many clips of yourself too many
blends
times,
together.
Yeah, and then you get into this like negative headspace. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to have the perfect footage. And there's no such thing as perfect footage. One of my professors like preaches that, and I love him for it because, as actors, we're always looking to be perfect.
Yeah.
But I mean, Buddy's nerfect.
Buddy's nerfect. I've learned from that too. A lot of times within 10 takes of your self-tape, you usually have worked your way into what you want to do.
Yeah.
And I don't give myself longer than an hour to make, cut, edit,
yeah, definitely.
send. I give myself that hour timestamp. Anything else, that's too much.
It can't happen.
You just that's what it
you
has
just gotta
to be.
pick one at that point. That's you think is good enough.
Yeah. And going back to what you were saying about theater and film, there is such a difference in like, because coming from being big and crazy faces and la 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 la, I'm a showboater, to film is such an extreme. And I've caught myself like on film being like, what was I doing with my eyes? Or like, what was that face? Or like I blinked really too long there. So film is a lot of just like sucking it in, honing it in, and remembering that it's the nuances and it's everything that's behind it's still doing those facial expressions, but doing it inside and then trying to emit that energy through stoic.
Yeah.
It's also not like a full body thing anymore with
Yes.
film. It's whatever the screen is on. That's that's the full body. Like if it's just like a close up, then my head has to be doing the work. Like, I mean, I could do stuff with the arms, but like it's not going to catch that.
Yeah. And I've learned a lot from the words too, because having that like improv background, I learned how to change from what am I trying to say?
Think on the fly.
Okay, so like when you're like working with a script, like a certain I want to add in a word, and so it's like, oh, I keep adding this word here instead of trying to push it forward and add it in. just take what you're trying to say and add it into your intention behind it.
Your
So it's like, why am I
physicality.
trying to say that there? Oh, it's because I want that to be portrayed. Well, then just put it into the word that's on the page, just around it.
Yeah,
So
no, I
just
love
discovered
that. Like objectives and given
Yep.
circumstances, because that's what you kind of learn as an acting student. Like, what are your objectives for this piece? What are your given circumstances? What are your actions that
Yeah.
you're doing to the other person?
That this all is, I think, this all hinges on the script being good.
Good.
Have you ever gotten a script back for okay, so assume you have agreed to do the film. Either you like the premise of the script or you like the person who's making the film or whatever, but you have the script, you have the words in front of you, and they just aren't good.
Yeah.
Have you felt like you've I don't want to phrase this too negatively, but like, what is it like working with kind of more of like a sandbox type? Like you have a lot more liberty as the actor to heighten the words from the page.
That's when you're really working. That's when
Yeah.
you're really everything
Pretty
that I was like, you're really putting that what you want to say behind the words that are being said. Because you watch some great actors say some pretty cheesy lines, but they still pull it off, and I think that is why.
Yeah, and I also think like you can always ask the scriptwriter or even like the director, could I say this instead? It just feels more natural. And if they say no, then oh well, you're just gonna be in the same place that you were when they said no. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, but they could say yes as well, and then you could be like, okay, I want to try it like that.
I like personally, I like when actors ask to say something different instead, because to me that makes me if I'm directing, it makes me feel like the actors have a little bit more stake in the project, as in like, because as someone who doesn't really do a lot of performing, an actor being like, well, it would make more sense for me to say this. It's like we're truly like collaborating. I like the collaborative aspect of that, because they understand a whole different side of it than someone who's more on the logistical end of it would.
Yeah, I've been on both ends where I have been like, oh, well, I kind of feel like this, but that's what that little like nugget I just discovered kind of helps. Like, if as the actor you think your character wants to say that, put that into what you're not saying. So say those words, but in your head say what you want to say and see what comes out, because that might bring the intent that's wanted to be seen on film. Like, it's not, it's kind of, it's layering that character. It's giving them that what's actually going on with them. I mean, if that goes with the story,
Of course.
but that's what I don't know. I literally just discovered this nugget like a couple weeks ago. I've been filming a short film called George and Alex. Jason Richardson's the director, and he's definitely like given us a lot of like, he has, I think his words are great. But he's very like, well, you can change it around. Like, he's just very open for it. And yeah, I'm really playing with that. So I think both have merit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just depends on the work environment. And again, coming back to that, like, is this telling what it's supposed to be telling?
Yeah.
Are we getting what we are wanting to get?
It all comes
Something
back
that
to
I like.
trust.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know, for real. Something that I like doing just to help me memorize lines and everything is saying the basis of what I want to say, because then it helps me, figure out why am I saying this, and then if I find something in that where I'm like, oh, why wouldn't I just say that then? Like, or I could say it a certain way. I feel like that just helps.
And there are lines of dialogue meant to be said by the actor. When he or she says them simply in an attempt to achieve an object more or less like that suggested by the author, the audience then is able to see an illusion of the character on stage. So that's really, like, at the end of the day, we're just illusionists. We're magicians too. We're
Yeah.
making people feel and see things that aren't real. It's all part of the imagination.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the imagination.
Acting is living truthfully under imaginary circumstances.
Yeah,
Well said.
I like that. You're so cool.
What have you? Something I've heard. Something I've heard a lot of actors experience is they they do for specifically film is they never actually get to see the final product. Like they never get sent to them. Do you guys have instances where you're just like, what happened to that? What happened to that one?
Where did it go? Actually, yeah, there was when I was at the KO premiere. That was like the first time I ever got to like see myself on a big screen too. That was like really, really cool for me. I was like, whoa. But there have been instances too where I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't know where that film would be. But then someone came up to me at that premiere and they say, oh, we want to invite you to the short film that you were a part of 2 years ago. We realized that it was like in our drive and we never sent it out or anything. And I'm like, what short film are you even talking about? And then she explained it to me and I'm like, oh my goodness, I completely forgot that was a thing. I was like talking over, like I was reading off something and then there was like a dancer in it. I completely forgot what
for
the
FFI.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh my goodness, thank you so much for, like, I would love to see that because I also forgot about it as well. No, but yeah, I've had experiences like that.
Yeah, I have one short, which it was a blast to make. I was playing, it was called like Woman in the Window, and I was just this like, honestly, kind of like an entity person, but it was full, it was just like, I was supposed to like have this like somber kind of horrified look, and I was just in the window. And I got paid for it, but I never got any footage. But like the director is amazing. She's in PA doing awesome stuff. The other actors I worked with, they're still fully active. But they have some of the footage on their reels. But I'm like, where's my woman? Where is she?
Where's the woman?
I know. Where is she? She's lost. So that's one. I don't know where it is. Like I know it exists, but and again, like it was a fantastic project, but I'm just a ghost. I guess it was as it was supposed to be.
What is she doing now?
I know.
I will say too, when I acted on my one film, that I also did not get the final product at first, and I had to ask for it. I was like, "Hey,
yeah.
so
you always have.
ask.
Yep,
You
just
know.
you have to follow up. That's like, yeah, that's big.
All right, so we are just about nearing the end of our time today, but there is one thing I want to quickly ask about before we wrap, and that is with you, Shannon. You were on Survivor.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
so cool.
So I started doing film crew work kind of in that same vein we were saying of understanding how the whole process works. I started making my own films, and then one day I was like, am I doing this right? So I took a class at Tri-C, and it was just like an introductory to film crew life. It was like a 4-week program, and one of the instructors worked on Survivor for like seasons, and he was like, it's a great thing, you can be on Dream Team. My son did it a couple of years ago. Here's his video. If anyone wants to apply, like, let me know. I was the only person. I was like, yes. Make a film in a tropical, film. Make a production on a tropical paradise. Get to travel and like make something
cool.
sweet. It took me 3 years to get on. So you sent in audition video after audition video. But yeah, so I did crew, and it so much fun. I did the last 2 years. It's called Dream Team, so it's pretty much a paid internship. You're working mostly with scenic painting. You do a lot of painting, and
what are you painting?
So you paint when they do those drone shots. There's like all of those like game play like runners where like the contestants kind of run down. You do stencil work, everything that is involved with the challenge. We help create. And then as part of it, you also test out all of the challenges. So when you're not like in the workshop painting, you get pulled to go like.
It's kind of fun.
Oh my gosh, it was like I grew up watching like hidden Legends of the Hidden Temple on Nickelodeon, and just like watching all those like kids do like these crazy games. So it's out. You're in paradise, getting to like jump off of platoons and like unlock keys and see if you can do it faster, and
That's so cool.
Such a blast.
So cool.
And then they utilize you when you watch Survivor on the cutaways. Jeff will be saying his today's challenge, and then it goes to dream team, and we're the ones like that they show our hands, or we're not allowed to show our faces, so we
right.
always have to like have our hair
Because
on the other side.
you have a couple of those linked on your and I watched one of them and I was like, I'm like, that's
Yeah,
Shannon.
yeah, that one's me.
Oh my goodness.
So,
That
yeah,
is so
That's so
cool.
fun.
Really, really fun. And again, just great to see it, especially that show. It's currently in its 46th season, so it's been on for over 20 years. Yes. And so
Wild.
being able to be on a production of just a well-oiled machine, because
Yeah.
everything else you're on, it's, especially around here, it's like, maybe it's a day or 2 days, and it could be like a commercial. You're lucky if you get like a 2-month gig. A 6-month gig is like, what? And so just having a production that's been running for so long, seeing how they make it work and all of the moving pieces that are cohesive.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I really picked up the most from working on that, is just, wow, they've been doing this. They know what they're doing. Why does it work? And like, yeah,
That's fascinating.
Wow. I'm like writing all of this stuff down too because I'm learning so much from you as well.
TV is definitely, because with film, it's like basically from the ground up. You're like constructing an entire, it's a whole new thing every time. And I think that's really interesting. I haven't really thought very much about that with TV. It's a little bit more traditional in that there is that structure. And I think working on a TV set and paying attention to what has shown through all those years is really smart.
Yes.
That's really fascinating. Wow. That's a cool thing to do.
Yeah, it was
Survivor.
great. I know, and that's what like most of the responses. It's either like, oh my gosh, I love Survivor. I'm a super fan, because surprisingly, Ohio is one of Survivor's like most, like we have like the highest ratings of
That's
watching
wild.
Survivor.
Yeah.
It's escapism.
It's like
I don't think I've
I
ever
know,
really watched it.
It's like Ohio and like West Virginia.
that makes sense.
I know. But yeah, so it's either like I love it, or it's what is it? So what are you surviving? Like it's like one
Yeah.
of two. Or like me, like I had watched the first season. I remember I watched when it came out, and that was the last time I watched it. But I went back and watched the first season when I got hired on, I was curious what changed in 20 years from season 1. What I found changed the most is season 1. You can kind of tell they're just like they're making it up as they go along, and it's neat to see how they're just like kind of ad-libbing and throwing stuff in, which is exactly what you do. Jeff has since come out with the podcast about Survivor, and he kind of tells a lot of like the origin stories, which I mean they're all, and everyone that works on it, they're all just they just have all this wealth of knowledge, and they're all so humble about it. Like you won't know that someone has worked on this like amazing documentary film, or like gone and filmed elephants and all these, until you mention something and be like, oh yeah, that's kind of like this.
Yeah, you never know what people have done.
Yeah, and
that's why it's so good to make connections like that.
Yeah, and the more I like get into it, I tend to vibe the best with the people that are more humble about it, and like they're just kind of, they show up and they do their work, and then they continue on to the next thing. Because I think, like, I used to think it had to be a lot of that, like, I'm this person, I need to self-promote, but that kind of ties back into what I was trying to be. I was trying to be that, like, I'm high energy, I'm bubbly, I'm chaotic, but like understanding that like is part of like my personality facet, but then also understanding like, yeah, but I am also grounded, and I understand the world and things on a different level than just this like kind of superficial lens. But the more like work that you find that's meaningful to you, like the more you come across those people on set, which is awesome.
I love people.
I know.
All right, do you guys want to go ahead and plug your socials?
We are at 1 hour and 14 minutes, making it Act Natural's longest episode to date. I don't know why I'm announcing it like a horse race.
Wow.
But,
we love talking.
Yeah. No, thank you guys very much for coming on. I've learned personally, I've learned a lot from both of you. Not really from you, Anthony, but that's okay.
I did Entity. You're an entity.
Entity game. I'm the odd one out here. I haven't played an entity.
No, I learned so much from Shannon today too.
I learned a lot from you guys.
Yeah,
and just like
that's so cool.
Vice versa.
Go ahead and plug your socials,
or whatever.
Starting with, or just any upcoming projects that are coming out. Now is your time.
Yeah, mine's just at Julianna Marilyn at on Instagram. And yeah, I'm working on Dog Sees God. And then I'm graduating, going out into the working world. So I'll see what I go to.
You can find my website at shannonmetelko.com. I'm working on George and Alex. It is a film about a grandfather and his granddaughter as they go on an adventure digging up the coffee cans full of money he has hidden all around his small town over the years.
Oh, that's fun.
It's uplifting, it's heartwarming, it's kind of sad, but I'm very excited about it. We're in production right now, and I did get the go-ahead from the director to plug it, so that's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did not sign that NDA.
I know. We're filming. We kind of have it. It's an interesting shoot. We're breaking it down into just weekends people are available, so we're kind of spreading it out throughout the year. So we're filming it next weekend, and we're all pretty jazzed. So
Exciting.
yeah.
And then you can follow us at Act Natural Pod on Instagram.
On Instagram.
Yeah.
But yeah, that about wraps it up. Anthony, cue us out because you introed.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Goodbye.
We're new to this.
Bye.
Like, hear ya. We'll
See ya.
if it's video, we'll see you later. But because it's audio, we will hear you later. Toodaloo.
Hey.